Help, I can't close on my unit. Folks, I'll get into that and then the latest home prices and insights for condos across the GTA for week ending July 17th, 2024. I always get calls of condos and pre-construction, but lately, the last couple months, it seems the calls are amplified. I'm getting calls from buyers that bought pre-construction at astronomical prices per square foot. Today, for example, you could buy a fairly new unit for between, I'll say, $900 to $1,200 a square foot. This is a unit that's less than a year old or 1 or 2, 3 years old. So 900 to 1,200 square foot. Some of these calls I'm getting that people bought pre-construction, they paid $1,800, $2,000 a square foot. And they're worried now, legitimately worried. I'm receiving other calls from people who bought pre-construction. They bought more than one unit, 2 units, 3 units. The common denominator between these two types of calls is that they either do not want to close or they can't close. I'm telling you all this because there's one type of person that calls in that situation that is closing in 1, 2, or 3 weeks from now. Who can help this person? There's not enough time for things to come together for this person. There's just not enough time to react. They're almost forced to close. It's too close to their closing date before they say, hey, I have a problem. Can somebody help me? Then there's the other buyer who calls 6 months, a year before their closing date and says, hey, I have a problem. I paid way too much per square foot. Prices are different now. What are my options? Or I bought 3. I don't want to close on any of them, or I can't close. What are my options? Well, if it's 6 months, a year in advance, we got options, or we may have options, but we have time to try to figure this out. I would advise you speak with a lawyer, your real estate lawyer, to review your contracts, to tell you what your options may be. Your lawyer may need to talk to the builder's lawyer to discuss in more details to be clear on what your options are. If one of your options is selling, well, a realtor needs time to be able to put all this together, especially if it's, say, an assignment sale. It may take some time, and they're not easy assignment sales. All I'm getting at is act in advance. If the writing is on the wall and you can't close or don't want to close, give the people enough time around you to come up with solutions, the people that can help you to have the solutions or to try to come up with solutions or to work on solutions. You call a week before closing, 2 weeks before closing, nobody can help you. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Up here, there's a link. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Okay, folks, let's take a really close look at condos across the GTA. We're going to focus on 3 main sections. We're going to focus on condos for the City of Toronto, for York Region, and for Peel Region. These are average sold prices. I've got 3 months on the board here, but for week ending July 17th, if we take the low average sold price versus the high, so Peel Region and the City of Toronto, there's a $105,000 difference in average sold price. The gap has been much more. It's a little bit closer today. Let's start off with the City of Toronto. 176 condo apartments were sold for week ending July 17th. This is only for the City of Toronto. So sales are trending down. Now, it's July. We're in the middle of July, and August is right around the corner. Usually, July and August, the months are a bit more sluggish when it comes to sales and average sold prices. It's pretty typical. That mixed into everything else going on in our economy, it's really tough to say what's seasonal and what's, economy related, these prices. But typically we slow down at this time of year. 176 we said were sold. 23 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price for a while has been trending down, but the last few weeks, average sold price looks like it's creeping up there again. It's now sitting at 747,000. 747 is 2% lower than where the price was this time a year ago. The median price of 658 is also 2% lower year over year. Now, average sold price, when I'm looking at the dotted line here, average sold price, when I look at the dotted line, which is the 4-week moving average, kind of shows that average prices are trending down, but slightly. It's not an aggressive, but overall trending down. The median price is a bit more flat. So median price isn't moving so much for now. Average price coming down, but not aggressively. 176 were sold, 27% sold at list price or more. Listings, 817 were listed. There are 5,811 active condo listings in the city of Toronto. 5,811. So based on what we're selling, only 3% every week are actually selling. And months of inventory climbing. We're now sitting at 7.6 months of inventory. That's not even close. At 5 months of inventory, north of 5 months, we'll say, is a buyer's market. This is 7.6 months of inventory. We are well into a buyer's market when it comes to condo. But that's the whole city. Let's break it down a bit further into 9 different sections. We said 7.6 for the whole city of Toronto. Well, let's look at some of the neighborhoods around here. If Etobicoke, 19 were sold, 7.6 months of inventory. That's exactly what the whole city has. If we look at Rexdale, 14.1. It's basically almost double what the city of Toronto as a whole has an average. Weston Yorkdale, 9 months of inventory. High Park, we see a lot of condo sales in High Park. The High Park is at 4.2 months of inventory. That's outperforming the whole city of Toronto. Average price in High Park is $830,000. If we look at downtown Toronto, 10.7 months of inventory. 48 were sold for week ending July 17th. Active listings, 2,225. So there's 2,225 available condos for sale. 48 actually sold, so only 2% are selling in downtown Toronto every week. We said all of Toronto, 3% are selling, which is not on its own, from 2%, 3%, doesn't really change much. But downtown Toronto is underperforming. It's bringing the rest of the stats down, actually, for the city of Toronto. Let's look at York Region. 23 condos were sold. Sales are trending down. 2 of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price down a bit to $672,000. Average price is trending down. Compared to last year, $672 is 6% lower. The median price is 4% lower. The dotted line, the 4-week moving average, it's pretty clear. Average price and median price are trending down. 23 were sold, 26% sold at list price or more. 130 condos were listed. Active listings is increasing. 931 are available for sale. If you recall, 23 sold, but 931 is what you have to choose from. And only 23 sold. Months of inventory, way up there now at 9.3 months of inventory. Yes, it's a buyer's market when it comes to condos. Here's condos for Peel region. The story's a little bit different. Sales, although normally sluggish at this time of the year, sales kind of seem to be maybe creeping up. 36 condos were sold. Two of those were at $1 million or more. Average sold price up from the previous week to 642. And if we kind of look back for several months, it looks like, although we had a pocket here where prices came down, but overall, kind of looks like prices for condos in Peel region are starting to creep up. Not starting, they've been creeping up for a while. Compared to last year, 642 is 3% lower year over year. The median price is 2% higher. The 4-week moving average, the dotted line, shows prices are trending upwards. 36 were sold, 17% sold at list price or more. That percentage selling at list price or more is trending down. 139 were listed. Active listings is trending up. Months of inventory, it was climbing, and now it's maybe trending down a little bit, maybe a little bit flat. It's sitting at 5.6 right now, months of inventory. So still a buyer's market, but not like the other two regions we're looking at. So Peel region has the lowest months of inventory. York region is at 9.3. Toronto, the city of Toronto, is at 7.6. So pretty much a buyer's market wherever we look, but there's different degrees of buyer's market. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.